Have you ever wondered if some of the little things we do every day, the ones that seem so harmless, so routine, could actually be chipping away at our health after 70? I mean, think about it for a second. You wake up, you go about your day, maybe you have a few habits that have been with you for decades. Habits that feel as natural as breathing. But what if I told you that a few of those familiar routines might actually be setting you up for trouble down the road? What if something you're doing without even realizing it is quietly making it harder for you to enjoy the life you've worked so hard to build? You see, no one really warns us about these things. Doctors focus on big, scary diseases. Friends and family just tell you to take it easy or stay positive. But the truth is, it's the small, hidden habits, the ones that slip under the radar, that can slowly wear down your energy, your strength, even your joy. And by the time most people notice, well, sometimes it's already caused more harm than they can fix. And that's exactly why today's video matters so much. Because your habits, yes, even the tiniest ones, are shaping your golden years far more than you might realize. They're either paving the way for a vibrant, independent life filled with laughter and love, or they're quietly pulling the rug out from under you, little by little. But here's the good news. Once you know what to look out for, once you know what to stop doing, you can take back so much control over how you feel, how you move, and how much joy you squeeze out of every single day. So today we're diving deep into 6 surprising habits that could be silently damaging your well-being after 70. And let me tell you, most people never see these coming. They're hidden, sneaky little habits. And number 6? Honestly, when I first learned about it, it completely changed how I look at aging. And it might just do the same for you. Stick with me because I'm not just here to hand you a list. I'm here to guide you through it, like a friend who truly cares. Because you deserve to know how to live your best, healthiest life in this chapter of your story. And hey, if you care about living your best life after 70 or helping someone you love do the same, drop a heart in the comments to let me know you're here. And don't forget to subscribe to Elder Talks Daily, because around here we believe that growing older should feel good. And we're just getting started. All right, let's dive in. Harmful habit number 1, ignoring minor aches and pains. Picture this for a moment. Mr. Johnson, 72 years old, loved nothing more than his peaceful morning walks around the neighborhood. Every day, rain or shine, he'd lace up his sneakers and hit the sidewalk, breathing in the crisp morning air. It was his little slice of freedom, his daily ritual. But one morning he felt a twinge, a small, nagging ache deep in his hip. Nothing dramatic, nothing he couldn't walk off. He chuckled to himself and said, "Ah, it's just old age creeping up." And like so many of us do, he brushed it off. He pushed through the discomfort day after day, thinking it was simply part of getting older. Fast forward 6 months, that minor pain had turned into something far more serious. A simple issue that could have been caught early now needed surgery, a painful, expensive surgery that took away months of his independence. All because he didn't listen to what his body was trying to tell him. You see, as we age, our bodies become less forgiving. Our joints wear down, our muscles lose some of their bounce, and even our nerves can start sending mixed signals. Those little aches and pains? They're not just random annoyances. They're often the very first whispers of something deeper going on, early warnings from your body that something needs attention. And yet it's so common to wave them away. We say, it's just part of getting old. We joke about it. We try to tough it out. But here's the truth nobody tells you. That small pain could be early arthritis. It could be a tiny fracture. It could be a circulation issue that, if caught early, could save you from bigger health battles down the road. Ignoring it doesn't make it go away. It just gives it time to get worse. So what can you do instead? You don't have to rush to the doctor for every little ache, no. But here's something simple, something powerful. Start a pain diary. Keep a little notebook where you jot down any new discomforts, what they feel like, when they happen, how long they last. That way, when you visit your doctor, even if it's just for a routine checkup, you have a clear picture to share. And trust me, that information could be the difference between a small tweak and a major surgery. Remember, your body isn't betraying you. It's communicating with you. All you have to do is listen. But pain isn't the only silent threat that can sneak up on you. There's something even more overlooked, something that can affect your energy, your heart, even your memory. And it starts with something as simple as a glass of water. Harmful habit number 2, not drinking enough water. Imagine this: Margaret, 75 years old, full of life, always the one with the brightest smile at family gatherings. But lately, something had changed. She was constantly feeling dizzy, lightheaded, tired all the time. Her family, worried but unsure, chalked it up to what everyone says: well, she's just getting older. It wasn't until Margaret fainted one afternoon in her own kitchen that they realized something was wrong. A hospital visit later, the answer was shockingly simple: she wasn't drinking enough water. Severe dehydration was quietly draining her energy, clouding her mind, and putting her at serious risk. You see, here's what most people don't realize. As we age, our body's thirst signals grow weaker. You might think you're fine because you're not feeling thirsty, but your body could already be running low, desperately needing fluids. It's one of those sneaky changes of getting older that no one warns you about. And the consequences? They're bigger than you might imagine. Dehydration doesn't just make you feel a little tired. It can accelerate cognitive decline, making memory slips and confusion worse. It can impair kidney function, making it harder for your body to filter toxins. And one of the most serious dangers? It increases the risk of falls, which we all know can be life-changing after a certain age. All from something as simple and as fixable as not drinking enough water. Yet the common excuse we hear is, "I'm not thirsty," or "I don't want to be running to the bathroom all the time." And while those feelings are real and understandable, the cost of ignoring hydration is far, far greater. So what can you do to stay ahead of it? You don't have to force down gallons of water. Start simple. Set a gentle timer to remind yourself to take a few sips every hour. Not huge glasses, just steady, small amounts throughout the day. And if plain water feels boring, flavor it naturally. Add a slice of lemon, a few berries, or even a sprig of mint. It's a small habit that protects your energy, your brain, your balance, your independence. Your body depends on water for everything, and taking care of your hydration is one of the quietest, kindest ways you can take care of yourself. But drinking enough water is just part of the picture. There's another habit, a sneaky one, that has a bigger impact on your health than most people realize. It's something many of us do for hours without a second thought. Harmful habit number 3, sitting too much. Charles, who just turned 80, loved his cozy recliner. It was his favorite spot to read the newspaper, watch TV, and chat with the grandkids when they visited. Hours would pass, and he barely moved from his chair. At first, it felt harmless, comfortable even. But slowly, he noticed his legs getting weaker. His balance wasn't what it used to be. Simple things like getting up from a chair or walking to the mailbox became harder than he ever expected. The truth is, the human body was made to move, no matter the age. When you sit for long periods, your muscles weaken, your circulation slows down, your joints stiffen, and your heart doesn't get the exercise it needs to stay strong. What's even more concerning is that too much sitting has been directly linked to a higher risk of heart disease, diabetes, and even certain cancers. It's called sitting disease for a reason, and it sneaks up faster than you'd think. The biggest mistake? Telling yourself, "Well, I'm older now, I'm supposed to slow down." Yes, you deserve to rest, but your body still needs regular, gentle movement to stay alive and well. The good news? You don't have to start running marathons. Simple, small movements can change everything. Standing up every 30 minutes to stretch your legs, doing a few gentle squats holding onto the kitchen counter, taking a slow, peaceful walk around the living room during commercial breaks. Movement isn't about big, exhausting workouts. It's about keeping your muscles talking to your bones, your heart pumping, your body awake and alive. Every little bit matters more than you realize. Now, sitting too much isn't the only silent threat to your well-being, because next we're stepping into a daily habit that most people think is harmless, but in reality, it can quietly steal away your independence if you're not careful. Harmful habit number 4, skipping regular eye checkups. For years, Helen felt like her vision wasn't quite as sharp as it used to be. She blamed it on old glasses, bad lighting, or even the weather. But what she didn't realize was that she was developing glaucoma, one of the leading causes of blindness in older adults. And by the time the symptoms were undeniable, the damage was already done. Our eyes are windows not just to the world around us, but to our safety, our freedom, and our daily joy. As we age, the risk for conditions like glaucoma, cataracts, and macular degeneration rises sharply, and many of these issues develop without any early warning signs. The big mistake? Thinking, if I can still read the newspaper or recognize faces, my eyes must be fine. The truth is, your vision can slowly decline in ways you don't notice day to day, until one small misstep leads to a fall, or a missed stare, or losing the ability to drive safely and confidently. And it's not just about vision. Eye health is deeply connected to brain health. Studies have shown that untreated vision problems can even speed up cognitive decline, making memory and thinking skills slip away faster. The fix isn't complicated. A simple eye exam once a year can catch problems early, often before they cause any permanent damage. Modern treatments are incredible these days. Early action can protect your sight and your independence. And if reading tiny letters on an eye chart feels intimidating, don't worry. Good eye doctors are patient, kind, and they understand exactly what you're going through. It's about protecting your story, your adventures, and your ability to see your loved ones' smiles for years to come. Now, while we're talking about small habits that have big consequences, there's another one that's almost invisible, but it can quietly wear down your strength, your energy, and even your ability to heal. Harmful habit number 5, poor nutrition. Frank, 73 years old, was the kind of man who never wanted to be a burden. He'd say, "Oh, I'm fine," even when he wasn't eating much more than a slice of toast and a cup of coffee some days. It seemed harmless enough. After all, he wasn't complaining. He wasn't in pain. But inside, his body was starving for the real fuel it needed. And it wasn't long before weakness set in. His energy dropped. His immune system couldn't keep up. One simple infection turned into a hospital stay, and it could have been prevented with better nourishment. Here's the thing most people don't realize. As we get older, our bodies actually need more nutrition packed into fewer calories. The stomach might shrink a little, the appetite might fade, but the need for vitamins, minerals, and good quality food, that need gets even bigger. Without enough protein, muscles waste away faster. Without enough calcium and vitamin D, bones thin and break more easily. Without the right healthy fats and colorful veggies, memory starts slipping faster, skin bruises more easily, wounds heal slower, and overall resilience, the ability to bounce back from illness or injury, starts to crumble. One of the biggest misconceptions out there is that eating less is just part of getting older. People shrug it off, saying, "I'm not as hungry as I used to be," without realizing that a poor appetite often hides a dangerous nutrient gap. It's not just about filling your plate, it's about filling it smartly. Think small but mighty meals. A few slices of grilled chicken over bright spinach leaves, a bowl of colorful berries with a spoonful of yogurt, a cozy stew packed with vegetables and tender beef. Little meals, big nutrients. Meals that bring your body back to life instead of just keeping you full. Even small changes make a massive difference. Keeping a little snack bowl of nuts and dried fruit handy. Adding a protein shake once a day if big meals feel overwhelming. Choosing real, colorful foods over processed ones whenever you can. Good food is good medicine, and you deserve to feel strong, clear, and energized, not just today, but for all the beautiful years still ahead. Now, we've talked about habits you can see, like eating and drinking. We've talked about the ones you can feel, like aches and pains. But there's one more habit, one that's quieter, deeper, and perhaps the most dangerous of all, because nobody likes to talk about it. Harmful habit number 6, neglecting mental health. Tom had just turned 77, a proud grandfather, a man who could fix anything with his hands, tell stories that made you laugh until you cried. But little by little, something shifted. He wasn't himself. He seemed more anxious, forgetful. He stopped wanting to fix things around the house. He pulled away from the family dinners he used to look forward to. Everyone brushed it off. They said, "He's just getting older. Maybe he's just tired. Maybe he needs more rest." But Tom wasn't just tired. He wasn't just getting older. He was silently battling depression and the early signs of dementia. And by the time everyone realized it, precious time had slipped away. Time when early intervention could have made a real difference. Here's what's important to know. Mental health changes are not just part of normal aging. They're common, yes, especially after big life changes like retirement, the loss of a loved one, a move away from a long-time home. But common doesn't mean normal, and common doesn't mean we should ignore them. The brain is just like any other part of the body. It needs care, attention, and sometimes a little extra help. When depression, anxiety, or cognitive decline start creeping in, they don't always come with big dramatic signs. Sometimes they look like little things: a loved one no longer taking joy in their favorite hobby, a sharp mind becoming a little foggy, a cheerful personality becoming quiet and withdrawn. And yet, how often do we hear phrases like, "Grandma's just a little forgetful," "Grandpa's just having a rough day"? Those innocent-sounding words delay real help. They tell someone who's struggling in silence that they should just accept it. And that's not fair. That's not how we take care of the people we love or ourselves. Here's what you can do instead. Watch gently, but watch closely. Look for changes in mood that last more than a few days. Notice if there's confusion that wasn't there before, or if they're pulling away from activities they once loved. Pay attention to sleep patterns, appetite, conversations. If something feels off, trust your instincts. Talk to a doctor. Get a mental health screening. There's no shame in it, only strength. Because early help can slow down cognitive decline, it can lift depression, it can bring someone back to life when they thought they were losing themselves. Mental health matters. At every stage, at every age. Taking care of the mind is just as important as caring for the body. Maybe even more so. Because when the mind feels strong, everything else feels a little easier, a little brighter, a little more possible. So if you notice the signs, whether in yourself or in someone you love, don't wait. Reach out. Get help. You're never too old to feel better. You're never too old to heal. You're never too old to live fully with joy, purpose, and connection. Now you know 6 surprising habits that can silently chip away at your health after 70 if you're not watching closely. But the good news? You're not powerless. In fact, just being aware is the first and most powerful step toward living your strongest, healthiest years yet. Watching someone you love struggle with these hidden dangers, it's one of the hardest things to experience. You see the shifts, the small changes that others might miss, the slower steps, the quieter dinners, the unspoken worry behind their eyes. It can feel overwhelming. It can feel heartbreaking. You might wonder if there's anything you can really do, if it's just the way things have to be. But here's the truth. You're not helpless. You're not powerless. Because knowledge, real, grounded, compassionate knowledge, changes everything. Every sign you recognize early, every gentle conversation you start, every moment you choose to lean in with care instead of looking away, is a step toward a better, stronger future. Awareness is not a burden. It's a gift. It's the bridge between fear and hope, between helplessness and action. Now you know about the dangers that so often hide in plain sight, the small aches that warn of bigger problems, the quiet dehydration that steals energy and clarity, the hours of sitting that rob strength day after day, the skipped meals that quietly weaken the body, the emotional struggles that whisper for help before they scream. You know, and because you know, you can change the story for yourself, for someone you love, for the life still rich with possibility ahead. It doesn't take grand gestures. You don't have to fix everything overnight. Small, consistent steps matter more than you realize. Start by checking in with your own habits. Ask simple but powerful questions. Am I listening to my body? Am I drinking enough water? Am I moving enough, even in small ways? Am I nourishing myself with foods that strengthen me? Am I paying attention to my mind and spirit, not just my body? And if you have a loved one in your life, gently observe. Start conversations, Not from a place of fear or judgment, but from a place of love and curiosity. How have you been feeling lately? Are you drinking enough water during the day? Would you like to take a little walk together? Want to try a new recipe together sometime? Do you want to talk about anything on your mind? These moments, small as they seem, can be life-changing. They open doors where walls might have been. They bring light into places where shadows were starting to grow. And most of all, they remind every aging soul of something precious. You are seen. You are valued. You are not alone. Growing older does not have to mean growing weaker. It doesn't have to mean shrinking away from the world or from life's beauty and purpose. It doesn't have to mean living in fear of what's next. With care, with attention, with love, the golden years can truly shine. They can be a time of wisdom deepening, relationships strengthening, laughter echoing louder, and dreams, yes, even dreams, still being pursued. There is strength in awareness. There is hope in action. And there is a future, bright and full of life, waiting to be embraced. You are never too old to thrive. You are never too old to be strong. You are never too old to live well and to live fully. Today, we uncovered 6 hidden habits that quietly chip away at strength, vitality, and joy as we age. Ignoring minor pains and letting small warnings grow into major challenges. Overlooking hydration and letting the body quietly dry out from within. Sitting too long, letting muscles weaken and circulation slow. Allowing isolation to settle in, turning days quieter and hearts heavier. Making poor nutrition choices where skipped meals and empty calories rob the body of what it needs most. And perhaps most silently of all, neglecting mental health symptoms, thinking sadness or confusion is simply a part of growing older. Each of these habits may seem small when seen alone, but together, over time, they can build barriers between where we are and where we could be. Stronger, happier, more alive. Spotting these patterns early, within ourselves or our loved ones, can make all the difference. It's never too late to make a new choice. It's never too late to turn a small change into a major transformation. Which one of these habits surprised you the most? Was there something that made you pause and reflect? Maybe a pattern you've noticed in yourself? Or something you're seeing now more clearly in someone you love? I'd love to hear your experiences, your thoughts, even your own tips that have made a difference in your life. Share your story down in the comments, because your story could be the encouragement someone else needs today. If you found this video helpful, if it sparked even one small light bulb moment, I invite you to subscribe to Elder Talks Daily. Here we share practical, heartfelt advice to make aging not just manageable, but meaningful. Not something to fear, but something to embrace with wisdom, strength, and dignity. When you subscribe, you're not just getting information. You're joining a community, a gathering of people who believe that growing older is not about decline. It's about deepening, about living even more fully, more intentionally, and more joyfully than ever before. Thank you for spending this time with me today, for caring enough about yourself, your loved ones, and your future to be here. That alone is a powerful step forward. Stay strong, stay connected, stay curious about what's possible at every age. And remember, on this journey, you are never ever alone. I'll see you next time right here on Elder Talks Daily.